Shattered Illusions of Grandeur, generated by StoryWave.ai.
Chapter 1. Discovering the Quantum World. The sun had barely crept above the horizon when Dr. Natalie Chin arrived at the Advanced Quantum Research Laboratory, her black hair tied back in a practical ponytail that swayed in rhythm with her determined strides. Today was not an ordinary day at the lab. A palpable undercurrent of excitement charged the air, and the soft hum of equipment seemed to harmonize with the buzz of anticipation. Natalie, renowned for her contributions to quantum physics, exuded a calm, precise voice that often brought clarity to the most abstruse concepts. Her brown eyes reflected a contemplative soul, one that found solace in the orderly chaos of subatomic particles. The laboratory, a labyrinth of polished chrome surfaces and gleaming instruments, was a testament to human ingenuity. It was here, amidst the sterile scent of technology and whiteboard equations, that Natalie felt most alive. Her colleagues, a collection of some of the keenest minds in physics, shared her reverence for the place. They greeted her with nods and murmurs of respect as she passed by, her presence commanding yet unassuming. Later that morning, as the clock hands aligned to herald the start of her lecture, Natalie stood before a packed auditorium. The eager faces of students and faculty alike turned towards her, their gazes fixed with expectation. Among the attendees was Leon Brooks, a physics major with a sharp intellect and a tendency towards skepticism. His slim frame was poised on the edge of the seat, blonde hair falling haphazardly over piercing green eyes that seemed to challenge the world to surprise him. Natalie cleared her throat and the room fell silent. Today, she began, voice resonating with the confidence of someone who has faced the unknown and returned enlightened. We explore the very fabric of our universe. Quantum mechanics is not merely a branch of physics. It is the lens through which we must learn to view all of reality. Leon arched an eyebrow, his curiosity piqued by the bold assertion. As Natalie delved into the nuances of quantum theory, she painted a vivid picture of a world where particles existed in states of probability, where observation could alter the state of reality itself. Her words were a dance of intellect and imagination, challenging the traditional constructs that had long governed scientific thought. It was during the question and answer segment that Leon's hand shot up, his demeanor shifting from curious to confrontational. Dr. Chin, he interjected, voice energetic and tinged with a respectful defiance, how can we reconcile the probabilistic nature of quantum mechanics with the deterministic world we observe? Isn't this merely an illusion of grandeur, an attempt to make the universe seem more mysterious than it truly is? The room tensed, the weight of the challenge hanging in the air. Natalie regarded Leon with a collected gaze, her demeanor unshaken. Leon, is it? Your question is astute. However, the enigmatic nature of the quantum realm doesn't diminish its reality. Consider Schrödinger's cat both alive and dead until observed. Our universe operates on principles that defy classical explanation. This doesn't amplify its grandeur, it merely reveals it. A murmur rippled through the auditorium as Leon processed her words, his green eyes reflecting a storm of thoughts. But if that's true, he pressed on, then where does that leave us? Are we not in some way masters of our reality, constantly collapsing wave functions with every choice we make? Natalie smiled, recognizing the transformative moment unfolding before her. Precisely, Leon. Every discovery peels back a layer of the universe's grandeur, revealing truths that are both humbling and empowering. Our understanding is evolving, and with it, our place within this quantum tapestry. The discussion that followed was rich and extended, a symphony of inquiries and elucidations that delved deep into the fundamentals of quantum mechanics. Students and faculty alike left the auditorium that day with minds alight, their perceptions of reality irrevocably transformed. And in the heart of the laboratory, under the watchful eye of equations and the silent chorus of machines, Natalie Chin stood as a beacon of discovery, her own illusions of grandeur shattered and reshaped into a deeper understanding of the cosmos. Chapter 2. The Uncertainty Principle. In the hushed stillness of the Advanced Quantum Research Laboratory's grandest lecture hall, Natalie Chin prepared to unravel the intricacies of Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Her audience, a blend of the intellectually curious and the profoundly skeptical, braced themselves for another transformative session. Natalie's average build and tranquil demeanor belied the fervor with which she approached her subject, her black hair a stark contrast against the chalk-dusted lab coat that draped her shoulders. Leon Brooks, the incisive student who had ignited a fiery discussion in their last encounter, sat front and center. His lean frame hunched over a notebook, pen at the ready, eager to dissect Natalie's forthcoming exposition. His youthful visage, framed by untamed blonde locks, was the very picture of the anticipatory scholar. As we delve into the quantum realm, Natalie began, her voice a serene conduit of complex ideas, we must confront the reality that our classical constructs no longer hold sway. The uncertainty principle is not just a statement about our measurement limitations, it is a profound insight into the very essence of nature. Leon's fingers stilled on his notebook, his gaze locked onto Natalie. She continued, her words painting the picture of a particle's position and momentum intertwined in a cosmic dance that defied precise prediction. But how can we accept a framework for reality that denies us absolute knowledge? Leon interjected, his voice tinged with the frustration of a mind wrestling with the abandonment of long-held certainties. Natalie's eyes met his, her expression composed. Consider the implications, Leon. If we know the position of a particle with absolute certainty, its momentum becomes a blur, a spectrum of possibilities. The universe at its core operates on probabilities, not certainties. Leon's green eyes narrowed, a spark igniting within as he grappled with the shift from determinism to probabilities. The lecture hall became an arena of intellectual combat, with each question Leon posed parried by Natalie's incisive reasoning. If all is uncertain, then what can we truly know? Leon challenged, his voice betraying a note of existential angst. We can know the boundaries within which reality operates, Natalie replied, the air around her seeming to thrum with the resonance of her words. Within those boundaries, there's a symphony of potentialities. Our role as observers is not just to measure but to marvel at the possibilities. The dialogue between mentor and student ebbed and flowed, a testament to the transformative power of knowledge. Natalie's explanations were a beacon, guiding Leon through the fog of doubt toward the shores of understanding. And then it happened, a moment of clarity, as sudden and profound as the quantum leap of an electron. Leon's perception shifted, the veil of classical physics lifting to reveal the enigmatic beauty of the quantum world. I see it now, Leon breathed, awe lacing his words. The uncertainty, it's not a barrier. It's the very essence of quantum mechanics, of reality itself. Natalie nodded, a subtle smile gracing her lips. Exactly, Leon. And with this new understanding comes a deeper appreciation of the universe's complexity. Our illusions of a deterministic world are shattered, but what we gain is far grander. As the session drew to a close, the lecture hall buzzed with animated conversations. The seeds of transformation had been planted, and from them would sprout a new generation of thinkers, their perceptions irrevocably altered. For Natalie, the day's achievement was clear in the enlightened expression that lit up Leon's face. For Leon, the revelation was a pivotal point in his journey as a physicist, a journey marked by a willingness to embrace the uncertain and the unknown. Together, they had traversed a landscape of thought where probabilities reigned supreme, and in doing so, had glimpsed the grandeur that lay just beyond the veil of certainty. Chapter 3: Quantum Superposition. The laboratory, a crucible of innovation within the hallowed halls of the Advanced Quantum Research Laboratory, buzzed with the low hum of precision equipment. Natalie, her black hair a stark silhouette against the stark white walls, adjusted the lenses of the photon polarization apparatus with meticulous care. Leon, his notebook now a tapestry of quantum quandaries, observed her with a blend of reverence and burgeoning comprehension. His previous skepticism had diminished, replaced by a fervent desire to grasp the enigmatic nature of quantum mechanics fully. Today's experiment, Natalie announced, will illuminate the concept of quantum superposition, where particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until measured. Leon raised an eyebrow, his mind teeming with questions. But how can something be in multiple states at once? Isn't that a contradiction of everything we observe in the macroscopic world? Natalie smiled faintly, the corners of her eyes crinkling with the wisdom of someone who had once wrestled with the same doubts. That's the bewitching beauty of quantum mechanics. It defies our everyday experiences and challenges our conception of reality. She gestured to the apparatus, where a beam of photons, invisible to the naked eye, was about to be fired through a series of polarizing filters. "Observe," she said as she initiated the sequence. The laboratory fell into a reverent hush as the photons journeyed through the device. On the monitor, a pattern began to emerge, one that was both predictable and mystifying. Leon leaned forward, his green eyes fixed on the display. "I see a pattern. But how does this demonstrate superposition?" Natalie pointed to the interference pattern on the screen, her finger tracing the bright and dark bands. Each photon travels through the polarizers in a superposition of states. It's not until we measure it that the superposition collapses to a single, definite state. Leon's pen hovered above the page, his mind grappling with the abstract nature of the concept. So until measured, the photon is both polarized and unpolarized? It's as if reality is contingent upon our observations. Natalie nodded, her expression serene yet earnest. Exactly. The act of measurement dictates the reality we observe. This is the heart of wave-particle duality and superposition. The experiment continued, each photon's journey through the polarizers an odyssey through the quantum realm. With each observation, Leon's understanding deepened, the paradoxical nature of quantum mechanics becoming less confounding and more fascinating. As the session drew to a close, Leon's skepticism had given way to a burgeoning awe. "It's as though the universe is composed of infinite possibilities," he mused, his voice a mixture of wonder and respect. "And we are simply navigators amidst this sea of potential." Natalie regarded him, a sense of mentorship and pride emanating from her poised stature. "We have only begun to scratch the surface, Leon, but with every experiment we peel back another layer, revealing the grandeur of the quantum universe." The laboratory, once a place of rigid physical laws, had transformed into a gateway to a realm of boundless potentialities, where the very fabric of reality was woven from the threads of probability and observation. And within this sanctum of science, Natalie and Leon stood side by side, their illusions of an ordered, deterministic world shattered, leaving in its wake a newfound grandeur, a universe infinitely more complex and wondrous than they had ever imagined. Chapter 4. Quantum Entanglement. In the depths of the Advanced Quantum Research Laboratory, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Leon and Natalie stood before an array of delicate instrumentation, the tools that would allow them to peek into one of the most mind-bending aspects of quantum mechanics. "Quantum entanglement," Natalie began, her voice steady, betraying none of the excitement that the topic inspired within her, challenges the very fabric of our understanding of space and time. Leon, his green eyes reflecting both the overhead lights and his keen intellect, nodded. "Einstein's spooky action at a distance, right? How can particles influence each other instantaneously over vast expanses?" Natalie adjusted the equipment, her fingers deftly calibrating the entanglement apparatus. "Exactly. The Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen paradox and Bell's theorem lay the groundwork for this phenomenon. When two particles become entangled, measuring one instantaneously affects the state of the other, regardless of the distance separating them. The experiment they were conducting today would generate pairs of entangled photons, sending them through fiber optic cables to detectors yards apart. Leon watched, enraptured by the process as Natalie initiated the sequence. "But isn't this a violation of relativity? How can information travel faster than the speed of light?" Leon's voice was a mix of incredulity and fascination as he scratched notes onto his pad. Natalie glanced at the readouts, her calm exterior a stark contrast to the groundbreaking revelations the data promised. "It doesn't violate relativity because it's not information that's traveling. The entangled state exists as a single entity. The measurement of one photon's state doesn't transmit anything to the other. It's simply the nature of their connection." The readouts began to reveal their secrets, the patterns indicative of entangled behavior emerging like the first few notes of a grand symphony. Leon's hand hesitated, then continued its frenetic dance across the page. "So these particles," he said, pausing to choose his words carefully, "they're like two different chapters of the same story, revealing their content simultaneously when one is read?" In a manner of speaking, yes, Natalie replied, her eyes never leaving the data. Their states are written in the same moment, irrespective of the spatial divide. Leon's skepticism, once a formidable fortress, began to crumble under the relentless barrage of empirical evidence. The experiment unfolded with methodical precision, each result echoing the last, a chorus of data singing the truth of quantum entanglement. As the final measurements were taken, Leon exhaled a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. It's counterintuitive, but it's real. The inseparability is undeniable. Natalie turned to him, a knowing smile playing upon her lips. It's more than real. It's a fundamental aspect of our quantum reality, Leon. It shows us that the universe is connected in ways that transcend our everyday perceptions. The laboratory, a sanctum of exploration and discovery, had once again served as the stage for a transformation. Leon's understanding of the physical world had been reshaped. His worldview expanded beyond the confines of classical physics. Leon and Natalie continued their conversation long after the experiment concluded, delving into the philosophical ramifications of a world where distance was no obstacle to the unity of entangled particles. As they exited the lab, the corridors of the institution seemed to hum with the echo of their breakthrough. Leon's worldview, once unyielding in its adherence to locality, had been irrevocably altered. His illusions of spatial separation shattered, revealing a grandeur that was as unsettling as it was majestic. Chapter 5. From Observer to Participant. Within the confines of the university's prestigious lecture hall, adorned with the portraits of venerable scientists and polished wood paneling that spoke of tradition and academic rigor, Leon stood at the podium. His once skeptical gaze had been replaced with the assuredness of someone who had wrestled with quantum absurdities and emerged enlightened. Natalie, her presence a quiet affirmation of the journey they'd undertaken together, watched from the first row. Her attire was unassuming, yet her posture conveyed the stature of a mentor who had guided a promising mind to the frontier of physics. A murmur of anticipation rippled through the gathering as Leon cleared his throat. The upturned faces of the audience, a tapestry of curiosity, skepticism, and esteem, were fixed upon him. "Ladies and gentlemen," Leon began, his voice resonating with clarity, "we stand on the precipice of a new era in physics, one where the quantum realm redefines our interaction with the universe." A hand shot up from the crowd, a peer of Leon's, his expression a blend of challenge and intrigue. "Leon, you speak of redefinition. Yet how does quantum theory reconcile with the concrete realities we observe daily?" Leon smiled, a glint of confidence in his eyes. "Quantum mechanics does not discard the realities we witness. Instead, it unveils the underlying complexities that classical physics cannot explain." The dialogue that followed was a ballet of intellectual pursuit, with Leon pirouetting through each question with the grace of someone who had internalized the profundity of quantum principles. "But what of determinism?" another voice called out, marked by a tone of respectful confrontation. "Does quantum mechanics not undermine the predictability of the cosmos?" Leon's response was swift, his newfound perspective a shield against the arrows of doubt. "Predictability remains, yet within a framework of probabilities. Quantum mechanics expands our vision, showing us a universe rich with potentialities, where our role as observers becomes participatory." As the seminar unfolded, Leon artfully navigated the sea of inquisition. With each explanation, he painted a picture of a cosmos dancing to the quantum tune, a universe that did not yield its secrets easily, but promised wonders to those who embraced its enigmatic nature. Natalie watched, a silent sentinel of wisdom, as her erstwhile protege elucidated the beauty of entanglement, the peculiarities of superposition, and the enigmas of non-locality. Each concept, once a harbinger of uncertainty, now stood as a testament to his transformation. The final challenge came from the back of the room, where an esteemed physicist posed the ultimate question. "Leon, if we accept this quantum perspective, what becomes of our place in the universe? Do we not become mere specks within an infinite probabilistic expanse?" Leon paused, allowing the weight of the question to settle upon the audience. "We are indeed specks within the vastness of the cosmos," he conceded, "but quantum mechanics empowers us. We become participants in the unfolding of reality, architects of understanding in a universe that is as participatory as it is mysterious." The seminar concluded to a round of applause, not just for the eloquence of Leon's presentation, but for the journey it represented. From observer to active participant, Leon's voyage through the quantum landscape had culminated in a presentation that not only showcased his mastery, but also inspired his peers to look beyond their preconceptions. As the attendees filed out, the halls of academia echoed with whispers of a future where quantum mechanics would no longer be an abstraction, but a cornerstone of the human quest for knowledge. And there, in the afterglow of revelation, Leon and Natalie shared a moment of mutual respect. His illusions of grandeur, once shattered, had now coalesced into a grandeur redefined, a vision of a universe where every participant, no matter how small, played a role in the symphony of existence.
Thank you for listening. Subscribe now and visit our website StoryWave.ai to start creating your own generative audiobooks today. StoryWave is the only true on-demand entertainment portal.